Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to my channel. Welcome to another video. We're going to be continuing on with the 12 steps and moving on to step 7. So, step 1, honesty. Admitted we had some sort of issue and that our lives had become somewhat unmanageable due to whatever issue. Lack of finances, lack of emotional security, lack of something, or an overabundance of something, say ego, doesn't matter. Step 2, we came into a little bit of hope that we could get over that problem, right? We came to believe that something greater than ourselves could restore us back into unity, wholeness, right? Oneness. Step 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of whatever that higher power is. Okay. Step 4, we embarked upon a moral inventory, basically an inventory of ourselves, our pasts, and basically we're trying to sweep up our side of the street and clean house. Step 5, we admit to ourselves, to our higher power, and to another human being the exact nature of those skeletons in our closet, those things which have been causing us emotional turmoil. In step 6, we became entirely ready to have God or our higher power remove all those defects of character, all those stumbling blocks, that selfishness, that dishonesty. We became ready for God to remove that from us. So just let it go down the river. And now in step 7, humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. Or in the first person, I humbly asked Him to remove my shortcomings. The principle behind step 7 is humility. It's about being humble in recognizing that doing things our way is what led ourselves to the problem in the first place. And a lot of the times with some of these bigger issues, alcoholism, drug addiction, mental health issues, debt, we end up creating the problem in the first place through ego and making it worse through ego, right? By trying to do it our way instead of reaching out for help from God, from our fellow man, we end up making the issue worse for ourselves. And so this step is about being humble enough to ask our Creator directly for help. We've been helped by our Creator so far. He's given us courage. He's given us some integrity and helping restore us back to our right way of thinking. And now it's about letting go of all those things that we've been clinging on to. If you remember, I did a video about the breath and the way that clinging on to things, ultimately we lose it. He who finds his life shall lose it, but he who loses his life for my sake shall find it. So to let go of those memories, to let go of those aspects of ourselves from the past, and not even necessarily just to let go, but to ask for help doing it. If you can do it without, if you could do it without someone or something else helping you, I imagine you would have already, So asking God, whatever that power may be to you, doesn't matter to me. Asking God for help in the removal of those defects of character, those shortcomings, those aspects of ourselves that are getting in the way of us being who we truly are and who we say we want to be. So That's what this step's about. If I'm trying to be an honest person, but I find myself being dishonest, the memories of that dishonesty, once I've embraced the fact that I'm guilty about something, the memories of those things just need to kind of wash away. And not to say that you won't remember them, because it always does come back eventually. I mean, that's moving on to steps 8 and 9 here in a moment, but in step 7, it's really about, I mean, just kind of letting go, taking a leap of faith, asking God for help, asking God to remove that selfishness, that dishonesty, that inconsiderate thinking, that fear from us, that blocks us from being of any use to ourselves, to another human being, to God, to nature, whatever you look at it as. I mean, we're trying to be useful, we're trying to be helpful here, and that's kind of the goal. And in order to do that, in order to be able to overcome obstacles of being even of use to ourselves, we have to be humble. If that is something that we want to do, if we truly want to move past our own roadblocks, we have to be humble enough at times to ask for help. They say in AA program, at least where I'm from, a closed mouth doesn't get fed and a closed book doesn't get read. At the same time, a closed mind doesn't receive any input from anything other than itself, and if that closed mind is stuck in the loop of self, then it's just going to remain in that issue to begin with. So again, being humble enough to ask for some help, ask for some guidance, ask for the removal of that which is blocking us. Christ says, if you have faith enough or faith the size of a mustard seed, and you tell a mountain to move, it'll move. So if you ask God to remove something that is hindering you from being who you are meant to be, He'll do it. Whatever you ask in my name, in the name of truth, in the name of love, in the name of freedom, in the name of unity, whatever you ask in that name, whatever that name is to you, whatever that looks like to you, whatever you conceive that power to be, if you ask in its name, believing that it will be done and that it has been done, it shall be done. So in this step, upon its completion, we end up losing all that emotional muck down the flow, right? Down the flow of the river and through the pathways, through the chakras, the pools of energy. That emotional muck gets cleared out, and it's a process that may be needing worked a few times in order to really clear everything out. It's not going to be a perfect thing, right? But it's what we're trying to do here is get these energy centers cleaned out, so that way energy can flow freely throughout the body. If there's some sort of blockage in there, say if you still are holding on to fear or something egoic, then you're only going to receive so much input. So it's about cleaning things out. Sometimes you have to do it more than once, and it's like cleaning up your kitchen. Sometimes, in order to truly get everything, unless you really, really take the time and energy to remove things from there, or then sweep everything out, and then put it back in place, after you're done, you're never actually going to get it completely 100% clean. So progress rather than perfection. But the majority of what may be blocking you will get removed in this step if you did an honest and thorough job in your inventory and you actually looked at those aspects about yourself which get in the way of your own self, that are acting as an internal contradiction for your own being. And that's what we're trying to move past. We're trying to move past internal contradiction. We're trying to get out of duality. right? Think outside the box. And sometimes in order to do that, you need someone else's help or something else's help. So hope you like the video. Stay tuned in. I mean, we're on the back half of this now, and there's more to come. So anyways, thanks.